Mitra and Bandhu, welcome to South Asia Maps Education Channel. Your presenter Dr. J. Reddy. Today we are talking about a fascinating concept called a New World. New World is a new hemisphere. After 1500 AD, European voyages and discoveries by Columbus, Amerigo Vespucci, and so on found this vast land. That's the New World. I have dropped for certain regions here. I have just represented only 4 countries here: United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. That is United States, Canada, here Australia, New Zealand. You can also include the rest of almost the entire 2 Americas and Australia, New Zealand. Just I dropped it for simplicity. So that point you should keep in mind. So what is the point of discussion today? Today we are talking about our fascinating Human Ecology predicament series. What is human ecology means? Humans, their interaction with abiotic environment and biotic environment, competition relations among the humans themselves, humans with the rest of biota, living organisms, flora and fauna. Practically human ecology covers history, economics, politics, society, everything. When there is a human, there is a human ecology. That's what broadly. New World, that is the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, then and now is the topic of discussion. Then means what? Then means round about 1500 AD. Now means 21st century. I recorded this video in August 2023, so I put it. What happened now and then? If you understand, you will get a lot of inklings how that today the societies are running. You will hear the concepts like ecological exuberance, social exuberance, political exuberance, economic exuberance in this concept. Mitra and Bandhu, if you are new to my presentations, I posted more than 420 or so immaculately made presentations. You can take advantage of them. If you spend 15 to 20 minutes, open the presentations at my YouTube channel, and you will get a deeper understandings in the form of icons, images, maps, representing abstract ideas into iconographic form. If you can understand English language and passed grade 10 or so, you can understand these things very easily. I made a serious effort to make these things understandable to anyone who is willing to spend the time to understand these facets of new knowledge. And all these 420 you can find at South Asia Maps J. Reddy. That is our YouTube channel. You can type J. Reddy in the YouTube channel search list. You can find me there. This is our Human Ecology series. So we are now in 115. That is New World. I represented USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, then and now. At 1500 AD, in 2023 AD, these are the remaining presentations. You can look at it. These are the previous presentations. These were the previous presentations again. This was the previous presentations. This is the initial beginning presentations, concepts of carrying capacity, takeover, drawdown, new world, old world, and Homo Colossus, Homo sapiens, ecological bloom, ecological crash, diachronic competition, cornucopian paradigm. So many you can explore further. Now, United States, Canada, Australia, these are the populations. These are the rough approximations. So USA has, I made it very easy. As of 2023, 333 million people live here. 2023 planet Earth has 8,000 million people, among which China and India, you can put 3 billion, 3,000. India or broader British Indian territory, like that, south of Khyber to Kanyakumari. That includes countries on either side of Radcliffe Line or Bhagirathi Line, Hooghly Line or Ravi River Line. So Pakistan, Bangladesh. So we made it round about 2000 and together round about 3 billion people. Canada has a 40, Australia 25, 26, New Zealand 5. That is now. So I represented in the yellow these populations more or less here. At that time, there was no restrictive immigration laws. In Europe or anybody, just you take your ticket in a purchase ticket in a ship, you go and land there, you get plenty of land, and they will give you the land and you have to farm it for 10, 15 years, then land becomes your own. And if you abandon before, there are penalties actually. So there is a restrictive immigration laws. Now these lands suffer what is called twilight of Age of Exuberance. Age of Exuberance is a concept Dr. Cotton coined around about 1500 to 1950 or so, the era of plenty of opportunities, non-competitive lifestyles, comforts and luxuries, affluence you can say. That is era of ecological exuberance that gives to political exuberance. So people say they want to rule like economical way of life, democratic way of life. All these fanciful ideas got into. Ecological exuberance gave to social exuberance, political exuberance, economic exuberance, and so on. Exuberance. Here we represented a person exuberant, very happy, ebullient, and efflorescent, and so on. So now there are twilight. Twilight means almost the evening times. Very little light is there. Practically the diminishing time. Twilight, declining time. Twilight, age of exuberance. Age of exuberance, remember, 500 years or 450 years or 400 years, the way you can draw it, and affluent time. There is a niche saturation now. There is an intraspecies competition. Intraspecies means among the humans themselves. There is intense competition in a broader sense for jobs, employment. Jobs, employment, pay, digital currency or fiat currency, the notes that have no intrinsic value. This has to be mapped to the resources: water, food, shelter, house, cars, and fossil fuels, petroleum, diesel, and so on. The computers, laptop, these are the ones mapped to the digital fiat currencies. That is called intraspecific competition within the species Homo sapiens. This is the Ecology Series. Human impasse, human predicament means today we have 8,000 million people, 8 billion people on the planet Earth. Resources are depleted. We are in cul-de-sac situation ecologically. That means blind alley, nowhere to go. That is human impasse, human predicament. Takeover means humans took over the land. Europeans took over this land from the flora and fauna. You see, flora, fauna means plants and animals. Prairie grasses, animals means bisons, wolves, and all those things, and depleted them, eliminated them, and started farming land, cutting the forest. Later, they start digging for the coal, iron, aluminium, and all those things, oil and natural gas, petroleum, and so on. So that is the drawing down. Drawing down is no more possible now in the New World or anywhere in the world. That is the point. If you look this further, what has happened to the New World, these countries, then means 1500. You see the old world here, Eurasia. Old world is Europe, Africa, Asia. Here is not that clear. It's a 1500. I should have put it in different color, but it's 1500. They navigated, voyaged to the New World, found a vast, practically empty land. When they landed there, the competition is interspecies. That means humans, Europeans, colonizers, descendants, competed with local non-humans essentially, flora and fauna like the bisons, the prairie grasses, the forest. Essentially, they took over, calls taking over. Competition at that time was intraspecific. Of course, they found a few local natives called Red Indians or Amerindians or Aborigines in Australia, Maoris in New Zealand, but European colonies at that time, due to their religious, political, economic belief system, considered them infra, that means dispensable population or disregardable population. Practically, flora and fauna, they can be eliminated. Whoever not eliminated, they put them in the reservation. So competition at that time then was Europeans versus flora and fauna. Some Europeans versus very little resistance offered by the native. That was the era then. What is the situation now? If you fast forward to after the World War I, World War II, now in the 2023, the competition is intraspecific now. The way humans think among themselves, the last attitude changed. So there are competition among the people residing there. 333 million people in the United States, 40 million here, 25. It is the within the competition among humans themselves, you call them Homo sapiens. Dr. Cotton calls them very giant human beings. Homo Colossus means resource consuming beings. Essentially the same. Competition is intraspecific now. Previously interspecific between the humans and plants and animals, now among the humans, Americans, Australians, Canadians, New Zealanders. So humans versus humans. This is the concept is very, very important. So when we talk about immigrating to these lands, going and studying there, lot of degrees, opportunities, it is not like that. That is the political viewpoint. What I am talking is representing Dr. Cotton's ecological viewpoint. Then the competition between the people and flora and fauna, now the competition among the humans itself. Homo sapiens versus Homo sapiens, Homo Colossus versus Homo Colossus. That's why there are now restrictive immigration laws. Practically you cannot immigrate to United States. Even if you look the number of visas, the rules, regulations, your one life will not be sufficient to go through. One channel posted the list in one immigration lawyers. Your life of 30-40 active working years, working from 8 hours a day, 5 days will not be sufficient. So much information is there. So complicated. Why? There is a restrictive immigration laws, means the land cannot support them. That is the point ecologically. That means now they are in the twilight zone, the declining one, a little light of Age of Exuberance. Age of Exuberance ended after World War II. Now what we see is no Age of Exuberance. If you are liberal, you can say twilight area of Age of Exuberance. The niche is saturated in that land. There is no more niche, no more space for humans to compete with others to get their economic benefit. This is essentially intra-species competition. Ecological exuberance doesn't exist, that existed at that time. Then now no more exists. Emotional exuberance, political exuberance, social exuberance existed then, now no more exists. There is no more to take over now. There is no more to draw down. These countries draw down all their coal, iron, oil, phosphate, all the resources. At that time, there is a plenty of land to take over the virgin forest, virgin lands, prairies, pampas, and so on. Now, there is no more to take over, no more to draw down. What does that says? So, you have to have, at that time, there is a carrying capacity surplus. Carrying capacity means the number of people, habitat, country has to support indefinitely. That's very important. Can the America support 330 million people this year, next year, 10, 20, 30? It has to support indefinitely, let's say next 1,000 years. It cannot. At that affluence, carrying capacity always includes the load, ecological load, human load, affluence, standard of living. The standard of living has to come down, the numbers has to come down. That's very important. At that time there was a plenty of carrying capacity surplus. Now there is no more carrying capacity surplus. The carrying capacity surplus existed, now carrying capacity deficits run. So that is the one point. So we talked about in part 6 ecological exuberance, emotional exuberance. Exuberance is 5 centuries of economic growth, affluence. See, Europeans in the navigating to the new world. Social exuberance is emotional exuberance, political means joyous time, optimistic scenario, euphoric mood. That is the ecological exuberance gives to emotional exuberance. At that time the new world has a plenty of ecological niche present that gives to emotional exuberance. Now that doesn't exist anymore. That's the other important, you can look at it. And one more thing is, at that time people living in that part of the world, immigrants, were Homo sapiens, simple human beings with basic requirements, meeting their 2,500 kilocalories per day, some home and shelter and little. Now they are Homo colossals, giant human beings. I explored it in part 99. You can look at it in the Human Ecology series at our YouTube channel. 7-league booters means heavy human beings. What is a Homo colossus? Just this is my definition. 80 kilogram human being. Human being weighs an adult to 70 to 80 kilograms. Let's say he is driven by these 2,000 or 3,000 kilogram automobile. That is the Homo colossus. Giant human. Why is a giant? Because he is a resource prodigal. He consumes a lot of energy, especially in the rich wealthy nations. They drive 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 kilometers. Now in many parts of India and China, people are also start driving. They are aspiring to be Homo colossals. They are turning from, so 8 billion people, most of them are modest to high-end Homo colossals now, are aspiring to be Homo colossals. That is the major limitation we suffer now. So what did we talk about today? In this series 115, we said new world. This is the one. Then and now. Then there was a competition between the humans and the flora and fauna. Rest of the plants and animals, plenty of opportunities, plenty. There was a carrying capacity surplus. Now the competition is intra-species among humans themselves, and there are less opportunities, and there is no more land to take over, no more resources to draw down. Then and now, that is the difference. I have taken here just only the new world, but essentially it applies to the entire planet Earth. That is the only living space we have. In a sense, Mitra and Bandhu, when Europeans landed there, colonized the new world, there was a intra-species competition, Europeans versus flora and fauna. Now, in this new world, competition is among humans themselves. That means the end of affluence, end of American dream, end of Australian dream, end of New Zealand dream. So, no more dreams on the planet Earth anymore. That is the ecological viewpoint that we should be aware. Try to deal with it. Thank you very much. Hope these things will put you in a proper perspective. Mitra and Bandhu, if you like these presentations, please subscribe the channel and bring it to the notice of your friends. And also Take few seconds to put your comments and suggestions. See you later in other presentations. Dr. J. Reddy, South Asia Maps, your intellectual Kshatriya channel.